Go Tell Aunt Rhody from Book 1 is a great place to start learning to use different parts of the bow. So far, we've used a lot of the lower half, okay, playing at the from the grip to the balance point, or just in the lower half in general. But we're going to use Go Tell Aunt Rhody as a kind of exercise, all right, to learn to play in a different part of the bow, to start exploring playing in the upper half, and also planning out our bow. This is really, really important concept in string playing, and the thing that really advances your artistry, your musicianship later on down the road. So it's really, really important to learn to use a specific part of the bow, a specific amount of the bow, okay, and to plan out so that I get to those different parts when I need to. So let's get into it here. All through Go Tell Aunt Rhody, we're going to go long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, long for the bowing. Okay, we have in here, in Go Tell Aunt Rhody, we have quarter notes and eighth notes the entire time except for the ends of the phrases, right? At the ends of the lines, we have half notes. Every other time, we have quarter notes and eighth notes. So all of the quarter notes are going to be long bows. And for me, wanting to learn to play in a different part of the bow, I'm going to go from the balance point. So I have my balance point here marked. I have the exact middle part of the bow marked. And I have the upper half marked, about equal distance from the middle as the balance point. Okay? And when I say long bow, we're going from the balance point to this upper half mark, past the middle, right? So, and a great way to start doing this is just to put your hand on the bow, okay, and practice moving the bow just on your hand. Long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, long, okay? And if you want to sing Rhody while you do it, even better. Go tell Aunt Rhody, right? You can sing the words along. Here we go. But just say the bows with me. Long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, long, long, short, short, long, long, short, 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 long. And the last really great reason to do this with Rhody is that because of the way the rhythm works out, all of the short bows are here, all right? Which is a great reason to have a different color piece of tape up here, since this is the first time that we're doing this. So all the long bows are between this part, and all the short bows are here. And I like to just say, I've seen where people might put two pieces of tape, so you play exactly between this. I just like to be a little bit more organic than that. Just either side here, right? We want to be always listening for a good sound and determining exactly how much bow we need for that good sound. So I just like to say on either side of this tape, but all of the short bows happen here. Yes, watch again. Let's do the whole first phrase. Long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, long, long, short, short, long, long, short, 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 long. See that? All short bows here. So let's do the first line, okay? Because this is a really, really new concept. Let's do the first line just on an open D string. So I'm watching the rhythm here of the first line, and I'm going to do my long, short bows on open D. Do it with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Yes. Okay. How about on the A string? Here we go. 2, ready, and. Great. Okay, so I want to do that for each of the lines. And then I want to graduate, okay, to maybe playing the correct open string for wherever I am in the music. Yes? Let's do the second line first, though. Here we go. Second line, open D string. Let's do it on the A string. Good. Now let's do the last line, which lo and behold, looks just like the first line. But we're going to practice again. So we put our eyes on the last line here. Make that connection. And on the A string. Now let's go back and do this first and third line and the second line, as I said. And we're going to go to the A string when it is appropriate to go to the A string, which is in the third measure, right? We have 2 bows on the A string. Everything else is on the D string. Follow along with me. Here we go. Good. Let's do the same thing for the second. Now remember, the first and third line are the same. Second line, let's do the second line here, same way. So we go to the A string a little sooner and we spend a little more time there. Okay, so we're really gonna have to think about going back and forth. We go to the A string in the middle of the first measure. We stayed there in the second measure, then we come down to the D string. Then we go into the A string again in the third measure, and then in the fourth measure, I say fourth measure of the second line, we're all on the A string. Ready? How about slowly here at first? Let's do that one again. That one's a little tricky, yes? That place where I'm transitioning between D and A string with eighth notes is something that I want to isolate and practice. In the first line, it happens in measure 3. Yes? Do it again with me. Then in the second line, it's going from the D to the A string, right? Let's do the third measure of the second line. Maybe a little easier. All right. And the second measure of the second line looks like the third measure of the first line. So you can see how it starts to repeat as far as what I'm doing with my bow. Yes? Okay. So let's put it together here with the left hand and play through it and see if we can focus and maintain all of our bow here, all right, going to this specific spot and coming back. And then I have one more thing to add to make it really extra musical here, a little extra challenge for you with all of this using a specific part of the bow and planning your bow. Here we go. Aunt Rhody. Starting at the balance point. 2, ready, and... And you may have already guessed the extra challenge. I did it there at the end, and that is at the ends of the phrases, slow to the middle, okay? Slow to the middle. By using half as much bow, because we've been using this much bow, right, for the quarter notes. If we use this much bow on an even longer note, the half note at the ends of the lines, that slower bow, okay, makes a natural diminuendo, which is a nice thing to do at the ends of the phrase. It's a much more musical way of playing. I'll show you just the last measures of the lines here. So the first and the third line end like this. Slow to the middle, slow to the middle. okay? And then catching up in the next measure. And then in the last measure of the second line, it's slow to the middle. So really slowing the bow down and hearing that natural diminuendo that happens from slowing the bow down. Really nice to do at the ends of the phrases. Now, if you want even one more extra challenge with the bow here in Rhody, if you're feeling really advanced and you've just blown through all of this, in the second line, because it repeats, okay, you can do some different dynamics, okay, by playing all in the upper half, all above the middle in the second line. If you want an extra challenge, I'll demonstrate for you here on the second line. Right? So I do my slow to the middle actually at the end of measure 6 if I'm going to add this dynamic in. Some teachers do it, some don't. Make sure you talk to your teacher before you add this extra challenge onto yourself and make sure that they're okay with you doing a different dynamic than is printed. But if you want to do it at the end of measure 6, it's slow to the middle, and then you do measure 7 and 8 piano. Okay? All right, so hope that helps with your bow. If you have questions about this, because this can be very, very new, this playing in different parts of the bow, and it can be quite a challenge. So please leave questions and comments down. Let me know how I can help you, and I will see you in the next video.